Some people will tell you that their favorite food in life is bread and butter, and they're close, but they forgot the garlic. Side effects may include bad breath, but that's a chance I'm willing to take. Let's begin. We begin with the dough, and yes, I'll be showing you how to make these knots with and without a stand mixer. I am, after all, a man of the people, and you are my people. For the machine method, we begin with 280 grams of bread flour, 180 grams of warm water, 10 grams of instant yeast, 15 grams of olive oil, 5 grams of sugar, and 9 grams of salt. Mix on medium-high for 6 minutes or until the dough starts to slap around the bowl and no longer sticks to the bottom, like this. Give the dough a good tug to ensure optimal gluten development. No tearing means you are good to go. Cover with a towel at room temperature for 1 hour. While the dough rests, let's start on our garlic and herb butter. The first ingredient, you guessed it, is garlic, and a lot of it. We're using 8 to 10 cloves, which you can either mince with a knife or crush using a garlic press. Next up is the herbs. 1 sprig of rosemary, 3 to 4 sprigs of thyme, and 1/3 cup of parsley. If the measurements look off here, it's because I'm making 2 batches of the butter, one for the hand mix version and one for the stand mixer version. Once all the herbs are finely chopped, toss 3 tablespoons of butter into a medium saucepan set on medium heat. Once the butter melts, toss in 2 tablespoons of oregano, all your minced garlic, followed by the fresh herbs and a pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. Oops, I almost forgot the 1 1/4 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, now that's everything. As soon as the garlic becomes fragrant, about 60 seconds, remove the pan from the heat and let cool before adding it to your knots. Now for those of you who don't have a stand mixer, the ingredients for the dough are the same and can also be found below in the description. Using the back of a wooden spoon, stir all the ingredients together until it forms a shaggy mess. Next, using a wet hand, knead the dough just enough to make sure all the ingredients are incorporated. After 30 minutes, stretch the dough as far as it will allow without tearing and fold the dough over itself. We're going to do this 4 times total. Then, scoop and fold the dough in half like this a few times to create a taut ball. Let rest for 45 minutes and repeat one last set of stretch and folds. Once complete, cover for 30 minutes, at which point your dough should be ready for shaping into knots. Dump out the dough onto a floured work surface and gently degas. Using a bench scraper, divide the dough into 12 pieces. Don't go crazy here trying to make them all the same weight or size. It really doesn't matter. To shape, tuck and roll the dough towards you and using the palms of your hands, roll out the dough kind of like the way the people at Auntie Anne's do it at the mall when they're making pretzels. You know what I'm talking about. Then, simply tie the dough into a knot and repeat. Dust your doughy knots to prevent from sticking and pour in your garlic and herb butter. Now, if you don't allow the butter to cool long enough before adding to the knots, the warm temperature will soften the dough and you'll end up with a depressing glob of blah. Ask me how I know. So, make sure the butter has cooled before adding to your knots and it should look more like this. Good. Using cooking spray or oil, coat the bottom and sides of a 9-inch round or 8 by 8-inch square metal pan. Glass won't work for this as it won't allow the bottom to crisp up. While the oven preheats at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, 232 degrees Celsius, let the knots rest one last time for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now I let these garlic knots rest for about 30 minutes one last time while the oven was preheated at 450 degrees. Now the oven's red hot and ready to go, so I'm just going to sprinkle this with a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano, which is an option but not one that you're going to want to leave out. Let's put it in the oven at 450 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes and see how we do. Now my name ain't Luigi, but I have to admit that these things are looking very legit. To seal the deal, I brush on a little more melted butter over the top while I let these knots cool on a wire rack for 10 minutes. For me, garlic knots are extremely nostalgic because they remind me of a time when I was growing up in New York. My parents would take me to the pizzeria and I'd get garlic knots every single time because they're really hard to beat. Now, if you like this sort of content, please subscribe because I am currently working on a how to make the best pizza at home series that includes dough, sauce, cheese. You understand the concept. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a like, comment below, and as always, keep busy, stay healthy, be happy, and I will see you in the next one.